Now, you all know the story. You meet that special someone, you fall in love, you make the big commitment, then at least in theory comes sex, right? I say at least in theory because sometimes we put that before the relationship now. But it's supposed to be a healthy, normal, natural intimacy that you share, right? No problem. Well, not always. Now, we're going to be using some explicit terms today, so I'll tell you this show is recommended for adults only. So moms, put them in the other room with SpongeBob or something, all right? We're talking to couples today for whom sex is anything but a joy, from a husband who can't get enough to a woman who says, this is dirty and I don't want anything to do with it. Now, my first guests are being open and honest about a sexual problem that is so serious it is destroying their marriage. Now, everyone has a certain something that excites them. It might be a touch, romantic language, high heels, broad shoulders, but for Howard, he is only aroused by a certain style of hair. And his focus is beyond extreme, and it's led him down some dangerous, dangerous paths.
I know this might sound bizarre, but my husband is sexually addicted to hair.
Watching hair being straightened or flat ironed is very much a sexual turn on for me.
When Howard sees another woman with long, straight hair, I know that he's being turned on.
I'm cool. I am so tuned into hair that within 5 minutes of appearing on stage, I will be able to tell you how many women there are in the audience that have soft, silky hair and where they are in the audience. If I notice a woman with soft, silky hair, and if I get home and my wife is home, I want to make love to her right then and there. During my first marriage, when my wife was not wearing her hair in the way I liked it, I had affairs with other women. I was also frequenting 100 different prostitutes. The hair had to be her own, and silky straight. I can tell the difference immediately.
In the beginning of our relationship, I knew that he had a fetish for hair, but I had no idea it ties into him being able to have sex.
If Connie comes to bed and her hair is anything other than silky straight, it doesn't matter if she's wearing sexy negligee or sensual perfume, I am not aroused. Lovemaking cannot occur. It's as simple as that.
He would go to my salon appointments, watch the process happening, and directly from the salon, Howard would want to have sex. It became a problem. I told him, you're messing my hair up. I don't want you touching it. He would go off into this deep depression, and sometimes it would last for several days.
Our sex life deteriorated dramatically. I found a substitute would take care of the problem.
I discovered him masturbating in our bed and parked in our garage.
If I don't get help in resolving this problem, the marriage will end.
Dr. Phil, my husband's sexual addiction to hair, is tearing our marriage apart. Is there anything you can do to help us?
Is this something that you truly believe is dysfunctional and you need to change, or are you just saying that because you're in trouble with your wife?
Quite honestly, it started out with believing that I needed to do something to save the marriage, and I honestly didn't become aware of it, something that I needed to do for me, that it was destroying me, until I had the conversation with your producer. And she asked the question, is this something that you want to deal with yourself? And it was like a light that came on.
The light bulb, I'm going to ask you about this in a minute, but the light bulb didn't come on when your first marriage of 27 years went down the tubes?
No.
That just didn't register that this is, because it was during there that you had affairs.
Yes.
Well, you said 100 plus with prostitutes and other women, right?
Yes. For me, the connection between sex and hair never, it wasn't anything I was aware of. It was just as automatic for me as eating. You have the need to eat, you go find food.
Because you said within 5 minutes of being here, you'd be like scanning the audience looking for long, silky hair.
Already have.
Already have?
Correct.
Okay. And what's your reaction when everybody's wanting to put your hair up now?
Particularly if I'm with my wife, then I'm very aware that I can't really pay a lot of attention. But if she were not with me, I would zone in on that woman's hair and would not even be aware what's going on.
So what do you think of all this?
I think it's very bizarre. And I think it's very disrespectful, the fact that he would do that. And as the time rolled on and I saw that it was more to it than just he likes hair, because initially the focus was on my hair, and then I discovered it wasn't just my hair.
But even when you thought it was your hair, there was a point where you felt like, he's making love to my hair, not to me.
Not
it's like,
initially,
but it got to that point,
but now,
right?
yes, I know the difference.
And so you cut your hair off, right?
I got fed up, I cut it off.
Yeah. And what did you think of that?
I was not pleased with it. It is not so short to where I can't be aroused now, but there is a difference. I mean, for me, there's a kind of an ideal length that would cause me to react, and this is not the length.
Fetishes, as they're called, are usually regarded as pretty harmless. They really don't create problems most of the time, but the issue becomes when they start becoming so strong that they interfere with your normal functioning, with your life, then that's a problem.
That's why I said, to me, until very, very recently, which is very hard for her to believe, it was, like I said, it was not something that was interference. It was just, this is what I like.
Well, it's hard for me to understand, too, and because you, 27 years down the tubes,
Yep.
100 plus other women and prostitutes,
Yep.
Twice you were arrested
Yeah.
for soliciting prostitution with
Yes.
police decoys and that sort of thing. And this relationship started as an affair, correct?
Correct.
Did you know why the other marriage was falling apart?
Not totally,
But you've talked to her since, right?
yes.
And she told you, yeah, I've been there?
We double checked on both things now, so that I have a clear understanding. Howard touched a relative's hair,
I guess I probably wasn't even aware that I was doing it.
and I told Howard he cannot touch another woman's hair, period.
I am now very embarrassed to be around her. I now wonder what's going through her mind anytime we are in the same room.
Well, we're talking about what's normal, what's dysfunctional when we're talking about sex. Now, Howard and Connie are being very candid about the sexual problem that is leading them towards divorce. Now, you're saying this is going to get resolved or you can't do this.
Exactly.
So tell me how you feel about that.
I just feel totally abandoned. I feel like I'm in it by myself. My needs are not being met because of Howard's focus on the hair with the sex.
Well, tell me, do you get that she's just really serious about this?
I get it very much now. I mean, she has, I can't say she has not been concerned about it and made comments, but what I've gotten, quite honestly, Dr. Phil, is kind of mixed messages, because she has mentioned on more than one occasion that, you know, I don't like you being in my hair all the time. You know that I used to go with her to her hair appointments, and when she stopped that, even after stopping me going with her to her hair appointments, there have been times where after she came home, she will still, as part of just normal interaction, she will stand in front of me and kind of, you know, move her hair in front of me. So I'm getting that, well, you know, it really doesn't bother her completely. And like I said, I didn't get the total message until very, very recently.
Well, what's the confusion there? I mean, the fact that she shakes her hair in front of you occasionally, what does that have to do with the issue we're dealing with here? You're saying that's it. See, I keep hearing these things that you're like a victim in all of this. You either acknowledge this and you change it, or you don't.
No, I want to make sure.
You've been with 100 hookers.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you said, well, she shook her hair in front of me.
No, I don't want to give the wrong impression. I
Well,
don't
you
want to make
are giving the
think.
wrong impression.
Okay.
You got to own this.
I'm owning it.
I mean, if you want to change it, you've got to own it. I think she is deadly serious about this.
Oh, make no mistake, so
That
do
you
I.
either get this resolved or you don't. And see, I don't think it really, frankly, you can trace this all the way back. Didn't your mother have long, silky hair?
Well, I said she did because that's what she has told me.
Okay. You want to know what I think's going on here?
Sure.
I think you have a deadly fear of intimacy. Because let's look at everything that you're doing here. You are totally focused on hair, which doesn't talk, doesn't engage, doesn't interact, doesn't require anything. You've been to 100 plus hookers or women outside the marriage. Again, no intimacy, total physical, just no connection whatsoever. You go to her hair appointments. You scan the audience and fantasize about women's hair. You go to family reunions or wherever you went and touch women's hair. There's no interaction, there's no intimacy, and that's exactly what you're feeling, right?
That's what I'm totally missing.
And this is the point that it has become an addiction. Look, everybody's probably thinking this is really creepy. You're not some kind of freak here. I'll tell you what's happened is you've never learned how to intimately engage with somebody. And if you will work to develop those skills of dealing with this woman, this spirit, this personality, her needs, her wants, her thoughts, her feelings, intimately engaging with her, whether she's bald or has long hair or whatever, if you will learn to get over that fear and develop those skills, then you won't have an interest in it. You won't have a need for that whatsoever. And so instead of going and saying, I need like shock therapy paired with hair so I don't have some aversion therapy so I can get over that, I think what you have to focus on is developing the skills necessary to be a partner with, engage with, and share with your wife. And you have to understand, sex is not all about you. Okay, and right now, sex is all about you, correct?
It is.
Yes.
You don't satisfy her. You don't feel satisfied.
No.
It is not a good thing for you.
It's to the point where I don't want to do it because I've purchased books, I've shown him, I've written him letters, I've laid it out from point A to point B, what I need.
So you've got to get in your mind that sex is not all about you. Sex is about giving. It's about sharing. It's about her as well as you. And right now, it's all about you, correct?
It is, no doubt.
Okay, so you say, where do I start? You start by acknowledging that wait a minute, I got to quit being a taker, and I got to start being a giver, number one. Number two, I've got to develop the skills necessary to start meeting my wife, learning who she is, finding out about her. I'm going to give you the questions to ask. I'm going to give you the script to follow. I'm going to give you the 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, connect the dots on how to create intimacy with your wife. Okay. It's in relationship rescue, and your relationship needs some serious rescue.
Oh, that it does.
Okay? It's not about the fetish. It's about a fear of intimacy and just being totally focused on you. And I want you to read it too.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, just so you can help him to do what he's doing, and then we'll see what happens here. Today, we're talking about sex and what happens when someone has an addiction or a fetish that completely turns their partner off. Now, Kaisa and Chris's wedding date is just around the corner, but she feels he has an addiction to porn, and she's wondering if she should even take that walk down the aisle. Now, he says, this is just a normal guy thing. Lighten up.
I'm afraid that Chris is addicted to porn. He looks at it probably like 5 times a week.
Porno is a normal guy thing. Every guy should have the right to look at porn. Past girlfriends never really like, oh, it's a big deal.
Chris's porn habit definitely makes me feel like I'm not enough for him. It hurts to know like when I'm gone that he'll go somewhere and pick it up or go buy it.
When I look at porn, it's not based on hurting you. I definitely feel I have to be sneaky about it. If there's gonna be a fight, if I've looked at porn, she'll start yelling and get mad. I don't think you should be snooping through my business though. I don't go down and look at all your emails or all that.
But I don't look at porn.
Kaisa and I have different opinions on porn. She thinks it's like cheating, and I think it's just a normal thing that every guy does.
If a guy wants to look at porn, that's fine, but the guy I marry won't.
Watching porn is like a habit. It's tough for me to quit.
Dr. Phil, my fiance's addiction to porn is out of control. I don't want to marry someone who has this problem. Can you help us?
Okay, you're engaged to be married in a few weeks, right? Mm-hmm. And your question is, should I go through with this or not?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of.
Well, we need help, and that's what I guess. Yeah, that is. Yes.
Are you worried about marrying this guy?
If he's not going to stop, yeah, definitely. If he's not willing to stop, then I'm worried about marrying him.
Okay. You gonna stop?
Definitely.
Oh, well, problem solved. I mean, you guys have got to be kidding me here. You don't really think there's a problem with this?
I don't. I think it's normal. I've been doing it since I was a teenager, 16 years old. I feel like it's just part of most guys' lives. And I ran into guys, we started doing stuff like 3 years ago. We've been planning to get married, but I feel that, all of a sudden a restriction happened in my life where I still I couldn't look at it, and it was hard for me to quit just because it's, it's part of my life. And
is there any part of that you don't understand? I just said, do you think there's something wrong with this? He said, no. This is normal. It's just what guys do. I always do it. All through our interview with you, you just basically, you're being very honest. I'm not criticizing you for that. You're just saying what you think and feel. He's being honest. He's telling you that there's nothing wrong with this and you need to get over it.
Right.
Okay, now let me ask you the question. Should you go through with this marriage here in a few weeks?
Well, no, but yeah. I mean, it says no, but I still love him.
Okay, if you sent out the invitations,
yeah,
and you got a caterer lined up, and you got a dress and flowers and all that, and that's why you're saying you need to go through with this wedding, right? It's like, what are you going to do now? Call everybody and tell them you're not going to get married?
yes.
Yeah. Because let me tell you, you have a serious problem here. He has an addiction to pornography, and he thinks it's okay. And you say you want to change it, but you really don't.
yeah, I do. That's why I'm here today, because I want to change. I mean, I won't be here if I won't just come on the show if I don't want to change. I'm here for a reason.
No, you're here because you're in trouble. You got caught. Have you never seen this show before?
She has it on sometimes, but
Pardon me? She has it on
I catch
sometimes?
a glimpse once in a while,
You
I
should
guess.
take more than a glimpse before you come in here, because I didn't just come in on a load of turnips. I've been to a few county fairs. You're saying here that you guys moved in together, right? And that's when you said, whoa, we're wall-to-wall porn in here, right?
Right.
And you said, get rid of all this. And you said, okay.
Yep.
And you threw it all out, right?
Yep. Except the internet, because that was there. It's the only thing I had.
Except the internet,
Yep.
which you spend 3 to 4 hours a week on porn sites,
Nope,
correct?
not anymore. I can let go a couple
Not
weeks at a
since
time.
yesterday?
No, actually, just in the past months, I've been able to sustain a lot, but I've still had an urge to go look at it like once a week. It's there, so I go to it. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's been part of my life for so long, it's hard to, quit once you do something. It's just like having a cigarette, same kind of ordeal.
You're being honest.
Yep.
And you need to hear that honesty.
I know. Chris will tell me that he's not looking at porn, and so I don't look at the history on the computer. But every once in a while, I'll check, I'll do a search, and I'll see that he is lying and that he is looking at porn.
Well, today we're talking about when sex goes wrong in a relationship. Now, Kaiser thinks her fiance has an addiction to porn. But Chris has been telling her it's not an addiction, it's just a normal guy thing. All of this has her questioning, sort of, whether she should go through with this wedding or not. You know what I think? I think you're sitting there right now thinking, oh my God, he is telling me not to get married, and I have this big wedding planned. What?
Well,
True?
It's not, yes, very true. And it's not just the wedding, it's my relationship with Chris that I don't want to just throw out the door.
Okay. Listen, let me ask myself some questions here, since you don't seem to be asking the right ones. First off, do I think you can have a rewarding relationship, life, and marriage to Chris across a long period of time? Yes, I do. I do. Because there are elements of this guy that just from an outside trained observer that I like a lot. A lot. I think you're very honest. I think you're very straightforward. I think you are dead wrong. But you're not trying to lie about most of it. You're lying about why you're here. You're here because you got in trouble, And you think if you come here, that's a good faith effort and it will calm her down and this will blow over and you can get married and then you got the papers work so you can do what you want.
I want to quit, though.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I want to quit. That's my ultimate goal.
Well, you say that in one sentence, but in the next you say,
I think it's normal, but I want to quit for our relationship. If it's bad and it's going to hurt our relationship, I need to quit for us to be happy.
Let me ask you, who told you that it was normal?
My whole life, I hang out with friends. Everyone I talk to, it's everywhere you read. Sex sells. I think it's been normal for me. I don't know if it's normal for every guy out there. I'm not speaking for everyone.
Let me tell you why it's not normal, okay? You said sex sells. This is marriage, not marketing.
Yep.
Okay? So let's get that right. And number one, pornography is fantasy. It isn't real. Those girls aren't real. And let me tell you what's real. What's real is, she says, that when you do this, she feels hurt, ugly, deceived, lied to, and inadequate because she cannot measure up to these pornography images. Is that true? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Okay, you're hurting her feelings. Okay, those images, let's get a vision of this. You have a flat screen here. You've got not real people. There's no intimacy. You're not talking to them. You're not interacting with them. You have a thinking, feeling, breathing, flesh and bone, beautiful, beautiful woman here.
Definitely. That's
in love with you, and you'll leave her back there in the den watching TV while you're watching somebody on a flat screen. Let me tell you, that's makeup, it's beauty lenses, it's hair extensions, it's camera angles, it's silicone, 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 silicone. Okay? And let me tell you what else it is. What you're looking at on that screen is somebody's daughter. You're looking at somebody's daughter who has taken a really, really wrong turn. And they are demeaning themselves, they are debasing themselves, they are humiliating themselves, and they are being exploited by people who are funded by you. Now tell me again about normalcy. Does that sound normal? Does that sound healthy? Does that sound like what you want to do?
No, it doesn't. That's why I want to quit. And I'm willing to quit. I told you that's my goal, is to quit.
But you say, hey, it's just a guy thing. It's not a guy thing. That's a youth. Are there a lot of guys that do this? Yes. Are there a lot of sick, twisted, demented people in the world? Yes.
I don't consider myself sick,
I don't think you are either.
Right.
I don't think you are either. But I'm telling you that that's this pornography world. It is a sick, demented, twisted world, and you are going into it over and over and over to the point that it is eroding your relationship with this girl right here. That's not healthy. I mean, Chris, it's not healthy. It's not natural. It's not normal. And you do not want to marry him unless and until this gets taken care of. And you need help with this. I'm telling you, you've said, I've done this a long time, it's hard to break. Willpower won't do it. You need some professional help with this, which I will arrange for you.
Okay.
I will get you some professional help, but you're not ready to get married to him in a few weeks. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. If you do, you are asking for trouble. You will absolutely break your heart if you are married to a porn addict. Can you get this under control? No doubt, absolutely no doubt. You can. You need help, and I'm going to offer it to you. I'm going to provide it for you. I will arrange someone in your town that specializes in this disorder to work with you and help you get this behind you. Today we're talking about sexual behaviors that run the gamut from people who can't get enough to those who just flat aren't interested. Elisa says she's absolutely not interested, hates sex. Her fiance says if he had his way, they'd be having sex every day.
Doug and I have a great relationship, but our main issue is sex.
If I had my way, I'd have sex with her at least once a day.
I have sex with my fiance because he enjoys it, but I don't really want to.
Realistically, I'd love to have sex with her at least 3 times a week.
I was raised to believe that sex was dirty, and even now I can't get it out of my mind.
We have sex about once a week, if that.
When I have sex, it makes me feel gross and dirty.
My greatest fear is that she's just never gonna want to have sex with me again, ever.
If I never had sex again, I wouldn't care. It's come to the point where I have to mark down when we have sex so I can give it to him at least once a week.
I would love for Alyssa to enjoy having sex with me instead of doing it just to shut me up.
If I don't cry during sex, I usually cry afterwards. I start crying because it makes me feel bad. I would prefer to use the vibrator than have sex with my fiance, only because it takes away a lot of the guilt. Doug does want me to tell him I love him during sex, but I can't do that. I do try and express my love to Doug, but sex and love don't make sense to me. Doug is a very romantic guy, and he'll often try and do candles, but I get turned off.
Sometimes she does inform me that she will not be able to have an orgasm, so she tells me to finish up so she can go to sleep. Alyssa and I will be married, but if there is no sex at all, I don't get too happy of a marriage.
If I had kids already, I would never have to have sex again, and that would be fine with me.
Dr. Phil, can you help my fiance start to enjoy sex?
Dr. Phil, how can I stop thinking sex is dirty?
Well, let me ask you a question, because you're a bit of a paradox on this. Consciously, logically, as you sit here, do you think it's dirty? I mean, when you think about it purposefully, is it dirty in your mind?
No, I know that it isn't supposed to be a dirty thing, but emotionally, I can't get it to be a normal thing for me.
Okay. But do you want to?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so, and that's what I mean about the paradox here. You wouldn't want to do something that you honestly, in your mind and heart, believed was dirty and gross and immoral and ugly and not good. Mm-hmm. So at a conscious level, you don't believe that,
Yeah.
but then just reflexively you react that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay? Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And see, this is a bit of a flip-flop also, because here we've got the man who wants to cuddle, the man who's lighting candles, the man who's being romantic, and you're making the rest of us look really bad, by the way. And that you just can't deal with that, right?
No, not at all.
You said using sex and love in the same sentence makes you physically ill.
It doesn't make sense to me. It's not making love to me. It's just sex.
Okay. Does that make conscious sense to you?
That makes sense to me, yeah. I see sex as a way to have kids, and because I'm willing to have a child with him, that's me showing my love through sex.
Okay, now tell me about your religious teachings that taught you this. What's the religious background?
Mostly it was just like touching, masturbating, stuff like that is wrong, but we didn't really talk about sex a whole lot, and sex before marriage was definitely wrong. So I think that it just all became a bad thing just because we didn't talk about it and stuff like that. It became more.
But you seem to have kind of picked out the things, some things that seem to bother you, and others that don't. Like you said, you're not supposed to masturbate, but yet you use a vibrator.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to have premarital sex, but yet you do.
Yeah.
And sex is not supposed to be fun. Okay, that one I'll keep. I mean, are you kind of just picking those things that you...
I'm not trying to. Like, I don't believe the same things. I think that just some of it stuck with me, unfortunately, and I don't know how to have a normal sexual relationship with him now.
What do you want? Would you marry her if
Yes.
you knew this is that this is what you were buying into? If you knew that she said, I have a dysfunction about this, and my preference is to never have sex again, would you sign up for a lifetime of that?
Yes, I would.
Tell me why.
Because I love her, and sex isn't everything.
But it's something.
It is something, but it's not everything.
Right. Would you be...
If say she was in a car accident and she was physically unable to have sex, I would still love her and marry her because sex isn't everything.
Of course. But if she's making a conscious choice, so you're signing up, how old are you?
I'm 25.
You're 25. So you would sign up for 50, 60, 70 years of rejection.
Yes.
Today we're talking about sex. Now, what's normal? What's dysfunctional? What happens when the sex drives are completely at odds with one another as they are with Doug and Alyssa? I want to get into the mechanics of this. And the reason that I want to do that is because you said, I want to change it. So I'm not judging that the religious teachings that you had were wrong. I certainly disagree with that. I don't think that's certainly not what the Bible says in my reading. It's certainly not working for you in your life, and you say you want to change it. Look, here's the thing. You have what we call automatic thoughts. You've been programmed by powerful people in your life. Parents, clergy, teachers, role models, different people have programmed you with certain things. They've said, this is what you need to believe. These are the values and the beliefs that you need to embrace. Now, I don't know who those people were, and I don't know how well-adjusted they were or not. What I know is you want to change this, but yet you can think about it consciously, and you even kind of want to do it when Doug's at work. Yeah. But then the closer it gets, the guilt starts creeping in. And what's happening is you're having what are called automatic thoughts. These things it's just like a tape playing over and over in your head like elevator music. You have to slow down your internal dialogue. You have to slow down these automatic thoughts, and you need to write them down, and you know them pretty well. This is wrong, it's dirty, it's ugly, it's not good, it's gross. You know what you're telling yourself, correct? And you need to challenge those things. And you need to replace them with rational and accurate thoughts. You are an adult now. You get to choose what you think, feel, believe, and value. You get to do that. You don't have to let somebody, you've given your power away. You gave your power away to people in your past. They're not here anymore. But yet they're running your relationship because they programmed you. It's like you've been brainwashed. Yeah. And so you got to deprogram yourself, essentially. And the way to do that is to get some distance from it. You have to write it down and then say, okay, is this not true? There's a litmus test for logic that you need to follow. And number one, you need to ask yourself, is this true and accurate? And if you're telling yourself, sex is gross, is that true and accurate? And if the answer is no, if the logical, rational answer is no, then it fails that point. The second is this in my best interest? Third is, does it get me what I want? Four, does it protect and prolong my life? And when it's not, when it doesn't pass, then you need to generate an alternative.
Rewrite it.
You know, what is it? If it's not gross, what is it? It's a way to share with the man that I love. It's another level of communication and relation. If it's not gross, what is it? Every time you have one of those feelings, those guilt feelings, you need to stop and go through that list of alternative rational thinking that you're doing. And you can help her with that, right? Mm-hmm. You can talk to her without getting mad, without getting angry, because you get frustrated, right?
Anyone would.
Yeah. Well, you're the guy who said you'd sign up for 50 years.
I would. But then I would know. It wouldn't even be rejection because I wouldn't even bother trying anymore if I knew it wasn't going to get it, but I would still love her and spend the rest of my life with her.
Yeah, and that's absolutely admirable, but let's not do that. Let's fix...
I agree with you.
Let's fix this, or we'll see you at the grocery store going, you'll just be walking down the street shaking. We don't need you to do that. What we need to do is fix the problem, right? I'm telling you, it's so amazing to me that people can be crippled by this all their life. You can change this in a matter of days or weeks. I kid you not. Wow. This is manageable. Okay, will you do the work that I give you?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
And you'll support her in that, and
course.
I bet you'll be moonwalking as you support her in this. All right.
What we've just witnessed is a powerful, layered look at how intimacy, psychology, and personal beliefs can collide and sometimes completely derail relationships. Across all three cases, there's a common thread. It's not really about sex itself, but what sex represents emotionally, mentally, and relationally. In the first case, the fixation wasn't just a preference, it crossed into dependency, where intimacy was replaced by a very specific trigger. That's where it becomes dysfunctional, not because of the preference alone, but because it overrides emotional connection and damages trust. In the second case, we saw a classic conflict of values, one partner normalizing behavior that the other experiences as betrayal. And here's the key takeaway: in relationships, perception matters just as much as intention. If one partner feels hurt, dismissed, or inadequate, the issue cannot be brushed off as normal. Finally, the third case highlights how deeply ingrained beliefs, especially those formed early in life, can shape emotional responses long into adulthood, even when they logically no longer make sense. What Dr. Phil consistently emphasizes is accountability and awareness. Whether it's addiction, avoidance, or internal conflict, real change only begins when someone stops minimizing the issue and starts owning it. And equally important, relationships cannot thrive without mutual effort. One person cannot carry the emotional weight for two. So here's the real question for you watching. In situations like these, where do you draw the line between this is just how I am and this is something I need to change? And more importantly, would you stay and work through it or walk away? If you found this case as shocking and thought provoking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw dropping courtroom breakdowns.